This is the Campfire Curmudgeon podcast.
That's creepy.
NPR edition.
Yeah, I was like, no, I don't like that intro. Redo. New choice.
Welcome to the Campfire Curmudgeon podcast.
New choice. No, never again. I'm scared. I don't like it.
Too happy.
Too happy. Welcome to the Campfire Curmudgeon podcast. You got a campfire? I'll be your curmudgeon. My name's Nick. Joining me is...
I'm Heidi.
And stifling his laughter is our guest, Josh.
Hello.
Hi, say hi, Josh.
Hi.
In
Josh.
the microphone.
Oh, hi, Josh.
Thank you. Today is Friday the 13th.
Woohoo.
No matter what you're listening to it on. Maybe you're listening to this 6 months in the future.
Hopefully it's still Friday the 13th.
It's also Friday the 13th. So, Jason Voorhees' mom is joining us today to give us some Friday the 13th tales.
What do you got
Am
for
I
us,
wrong?
Josh?
Did I get any of that wrong? Is that all?
No, it's all true.
Okay, so you are Jason Voorhees' mom. All right,
Yep.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Awkward. Well, before we let Josh tell us what he knows, Nick, what do you know about Friday the 13th? What are your superstitions, or what superstitions have you heard of?
I've heard of a lot, like breaking a mirror, 7 years bad luck, don't walk under a ladder.
Do you believe any of them?
Well, I don't step on cracks in the sidewalk, but that's more my OCD than the actual superstition.
What if it's like paved? Do you only step in the little squares and you avoid all of the cracks? Because I did that when I was a kid.
I tiptoe like a cat burglar.
Do you?
Yes.
I would like to see this. We'll film this later for the Instagram and the Facebook. I don't mind walking under ladders. I don't mind black cats. I am superstitious.
You have two black cats.
I love black cats. They're good luck. I am superstitious and suspicious also about breaking mirrors, mostly just because that sucks. But also, I'm pretty sure that's some bad luck. What do you got, Josh? Which ones? I know you've got a whole list there, but before you dive in, do you have any that you personally believe in?
I can discount Friday the 13th because I was born on that day, so it can't be bad luck.
But you were also born blue.
That's true.
When were you born?
I'm not giving my whole birthday. January 13th.
Okay. Well, then we can run back the last few Januaries and what year had January the 13th. And,
a lot of years.
Yeah, could be, maybe. But somebody here can figure out his date of birth.
I'm sure you guys
They
can
can
do
brute
the math.
force it.
You look so evil right now. Like, please don't steal our identity. We have nothing good.
Yes, exactly. Like, would you like more debt?
Yeah, I have our debt.
I just bought a house. How's it going? It's going well, but there's still a lot of debt.
It's going well, but.
Yes. All right, so what's the plan?
Well, the plan is you're an interrupter. Josh was telling us about the Friday the 13th superstitions, or just superstitions in general, that he personally believes in, if any.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the ones that I definitely believe in is walking under a ladder.
You think that's bad luck?
I still don't do it.
I do it just to be like, this isn't bad luck, watch me.
Okay.
I don't want anything to fall on my head. Usually somebody's on a ladder.
I already have Dane Bramage, it's fine.
Dyslexia. It's fun.
No, Dane Bramage.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you don't really believe in any other
Apologies
than the ladder?
to actual dyslexia.
No.
Yeah, I know. I was like, rude, don't be ableist or I will kick you with my pointy shoes.
If you're dyslexic, we're not taking the shit out of you or piss or whatever.
No, I don't believe in the black cat one either. I have black cats. They bring me nothing but joy and happiness. I think the stepping on a crack one is definitely something I believe in.
So when you say stepping on a crack, this is for both of you. Do you mean just like where the cement has cracked itself, or do you mean also like breaks in pieces of cement?
Can I answer first?
Sure.
Both.
Okay, Nicholas. What about you, Josh?
If it's a man-made crack, I think it's okay. Like
if it's a man-made crack?
Yes.
Like here's where we intended the concrete to segment.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if it's concrete, just regular fissures and things, I avoid it.
Interesting.
You avoid the fissures.
The fissures.
One that
You're either a geologist or a spelunker or I don't know.
Or an anti-crack stepper.
Sure.
But those are the only ones that you really believe in?
Yeah.
Did you find any, I know you did some research on this, did you find any that really surprised you that you hadn't heard of before?
There were some superstitions about the full moon, bad luck that's associated with that I found pretty astonishing and different.
Like what? What were some of those that you found?
Some of the ones I found with the full moon.
Hey, you have my microphone, rude.
What?
You have my microphone.
Oh, okay.
I get the blue one.
I think the show's going great, guys.
I just noticed that. I was like, oh, mine's not blue.
I know. I wanted a blue microphone too.
That one's mine.
Next time I get the covers, I'll spring for rainbow.
Ooh, or a purple one. How about sparkly? Can I spray them with sparkles?
You can, the whole point is to not coat the...
I know, but ow. No, that was me punching the table.
Oh, okay.
It hurt. Sorry about that. So tell us about these moon ones.
Yeah.
Don't
no,
stop talking for the selfie.
You can.
I want to be in for the picture looking happy. So one of the ones I thought were very interesting about the full moon is never start a business on a full moon.
Talk into the microphone.
All right.
Never start a business on a full moon?
Correct. That's going to lead into a bad result for the business. It's just going to end in failure. Whether it's a couple months from now, it will shortly soon end in failure.
So if it's like a restaurant where, what is it, like 95% of all restaurants fail? Like,
yeah.
Don't, like,
you want to go back and check.
You want to go back when there's no moonlight. You open your like on a no moon night where it's dark as shit. Like that's your grand opening.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't know
You
about
probably
that
rent
one.
a spotlight for that one, but.
Some of the other ones I found were this one I thought was pretty funny because it's kind of hard to avoid. Is never sleep directly under the full moon because it can bring illness and even death.
I've heard that in reference to lycanthropy. Like some people would believe that sleeping under the full moon will bring out like lycanthropy or make you a werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
So I've heard that, but not that it was just bad luck in general. When they say sleep under, do they mean like not in a house or not in a tent? Like, sounds to me like they mean don't sleep without a roof between you and the full moon.
Even if that roof is like fabric. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, is that the same thing you were getting? Like even like tree cover probably saves you from the bad luck?
Correct, yeah, exactly. Like sleeping directly underneath it, no cover above you whatsoever. That's where it's going to lead to bad luck.
Interesting. I like full moons. I think they're good luck. So I think these are weird.
I like when there's a good
weird.
full moon and you're actually out in an area where there's not a lot of light, so you can actually walk around and navigate just by the full moon. I kind of like that. That's kind of
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
the way it casts shadows is very nice. It's appealing.
like when you can see, like, oh my god, it's like a daylight shadow, but it's hurting
like a
my
daylight
eyes.
shadow.
It's I can barely see it. That's pretty neat.
What else you got for
Yeah,
us?
moving on.
Moving on. Some of the other
Rude.
superstitions about the full moon.
This is the
and
show where we're
bad
mean
luck.
to our guests.
You guys are being rude. You should stay away from any altercations with neighbors because they can cause lasting effects and serious problems. That one's not very descriptive, but...
Well, I mean, in my opinion, the moon is pretty powerful. And if you're putting a lot of negative energy out there under a full moon, you might as well be casting a spell. So I just wouldn't do it. I think that one's valid. I wouldn't get into any serious altercations with anyone under a full moon unless you really want to do them some harm.
Right, because if you're the one to initiate it, that's when the bad luck occurs, right?
No, I was saying if you're the one to initiate it, it's like casting like a spell against them. It's like gonna keep going. I don't think it's gonna come back on you, but that's just me. I know a lot of people would disagree with me on that, but
You mean to cast like a level 3 spell and and the full moon turns it into like a level 6
I can reach you under the table
spell.
with my spiky shoes
Okay.
quite easily.
Because what if you roll like
I'm gonna go for your
a 19
shins.
initiative or what? Let's avoid
Was
that.
that the only moon-based ones, or were
I
there
have a
other
couple
ones?
more.
You've got a
Okay.
couple more. Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot actually for the full moon.
Yeah, I
I've
haven't really
never
heard of a lot
before.
of these.
Really? You've never heard of people being superstitious during a full moon?
No, I've heard superstitious, but anything that necessarily brings bad
Well, I know
luck.
people say that like full moons bring out like the weird in people and environments and stuff, but I always thought of the full moon as being kind of like good luck. So I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, but you're an opposite person.
Am I? I'm an opposite person? What does that
Yes.
mean? Am I inside out or something?
Perpetually opposite day in your
I'm
life.
perpetually opposite. I'm not left-handed.
Some of the other ones that says it's bad luck if you show someone the finger to the moon.
Was it a full moon? Because I just flipped you off.
Not like directly at the moon.
You hate the moon,
You
Mary?
give it the finger.
You hate the moon?
Wait.
Just say the word and I'll double bird the moon for you.
Did he just say... So wait, flipping off the moon is bad luck, or flipping off somebody under a full moon?
No. Flipping the moon off.
Flipping the moon off.
Like, that's why...
That's just rude. Why would you do that? The moon didn't do anything to you.
And then, another one that I thought was pretty interesting is if you see the moon, full moon, over your right shoulder, that's considered good luck. But if you see it over your left shoulder, that brings bad luck.
I can only look left right now, so let's just hope there's not a full moon.
You also have the ability to turn. Ability.
No, but like, it sounds like if you just accidentally like glance and there's the moon.
Oh, like where you look. But
I can't look
but
right now.
You can't.
So I'm only going to be looking to the left.
You're
Like,
not
no moon.
ambi looker, yeah.
What?
It's a reference from Zoolander.
Nerd.
And then the last one I have about the moon that's for bad luck specifically is if you do a trade or business deal during that time.
More business
A
stuff.
transaction?
A transaction, yes. Yeah.
No
a
transactions,
purchase.
can you imagine? So you're not going to buy anything or sell anything on the full moon. Don't buy gas, no groceries, don't go out to eat.
No, not necessarily.
I think this was
that's
started
how
by
I'm gonna
hippies
interpret
that
it.
just want to enter the barter economy. Like, hey man, we should all just barter. Like
No, because
you
it
come...
even says you can't barter under the full moon. Oh, look, you wanted to be mean about somebody, and now you can't. Now all the wind has been taken out of your sails.
Yes, deflated.
You're just like, oh, I can't make fun of somebody. Instead, I got made fun of. What else you got for us,
Show's
Josh?
awesome. Okay, so I have a thing about the moon.
What's your thing about the
This
moon?
one's actually like one that I'm like, I don't know what it is. There's something to it. It's the same reason that like when I worked in a hospital in an operating room area, I worked.
He was a surgeon.
No, I was not. I would not. I hate
Spreading rumors.
I'm like some people that are on this podcast hate knives. Ow.
We won't name names.
But no, I used to work at an OR desk doing their scheduling and billing, and if it was a full moon, you were not allowed to say, wow, it's a full moon out tonight, because then trauma would start getting patients into the ER that needed to come up.
Wow.
Because it's just like, oh yeah, that's a trigger. Like, you're not allowed to talk about it. Oh, is it a full moon? Who said that?
Oh, no,
the charge
people
nurse,
start coming
who's
in.
like no nonsense about everything, because this woman has to sometimes tell people's family members, like, I'm sorry, your brother, mother, son, like, passed away.
You just
Like,
always bring this down, Nicholas.
yeah, but the thing was, like, around this operating room, and I'm sure this is the case in like fire departments or emergency rooms, or like police precincts. Like, full moon, probably not allowed to joke about it.
Well, I always comment on it.
Yeah.
It's kind
I'm
of like,
always one that's like, ooh, must be a full moon.
it's kind of like that thing you can't say in a theater, right?
Right.
Fire.
No, I mean, if there is a fire, you should say
You should
fire,
say that.
so everybody can leave.
Only if there's actually a fire, though.
It's Macbeth,
Oh,
I believe, right?
yeah, the Scottish play. Okay.
Yes.
Well, we're not in a theater, so you're allowed to say it.
I thought you were like,
I know,
a
but
theater,
theater.
or like I just went and saw Blade Runner, and it's like you could walk into Blade Runner and totally be like, Macbeth, haha, I told you. Like,
Wrong theater. You know why that's a thing, right?
Yeah,
Because of fire, ironically.
yeah, I was talking about the First Amendment thing where it doesn't extend to, like the classic example used in courtroom cases, are you're not allowed to yell fire in a crowded theater because you're causing a danger. You're impugning panic upon a crowd, and there could be deaths and injuries.
So
and
the
stuff.
caveat to that is don't be a dick.
The caveat to free speech is, don't be a dick, and
All
don't
right.
threaten people, and don't endanger people with your speech.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Got it?
got it, done.
This has been Nick's Bill of Rights Corner. Okay, so what else are we...
What else you got for us?
All right, so I got some other interesting ones. We'll go along with the theme here. Black cats. What do you guys think about black cats?
I like white hats.
Cats.
Oh.
Cats.
The listeners are going to love that.
Aren't they?
I liked it.
I like white hats. Okay, no one asked you about white hats.
I love black kitties.
Yeah,
Josh and I have 2 of them.
yeah, you have cats.
Well, one's half black, the rest of them's white. He's a tuxedo kitty. He's only half bad luck.
And half good luck?
I think they're both good luck.
So if you poured half and half on him, what would happen?
He'd lick it off for hours and then take a nasty
Have to take a
shit.
bath.
I love black cats. I think they're so
I've never
cute.
been creeped out by black cats. I've always been like, oh, you're probably abused. And
I wanna take 'em
why
all
are you alone?
home.
Yeah, because people are like, this is the devil. Like, you know,
Come
so
live
tell
with me,
us the
Satan,
background
it's
or
fine.
origin, if you could, about the superstition behind black cats.
Yeah, absolutely. There's good and bad ones about black cats.
Do the thing I just said.
Yep. So there's different folklore surrounding black cats from culture to culture. The Scots believe that a strange black cat's arrival to home signifies prosperity, which I thought was pretty interesting. In Celtic mythology, a fairy known as Catsith takes the form of a black cat. So that's something that they found to be prosperous as well. Black cats are also considered good luck in the rest of Britain and Japan. A lot of times in Great Britain as well, that a cat, more modern now, if a cat's walking towards you, it's bringing good luck. But if it's walking away from you,
You see its
bad
butthole.
luck.
You see his butthole?
Yes, you would absolutely see
which
his
is
butthole.
absolutely
Which is
bad luck.
Not good. Yeah.
No, that's bad luck.
You know, they actually have these things. I thought they were a joke when I saw them online. It's like a little gem.
Mhm.
And there's like a little ring that goes around your cat's tail, and the gem covers their butthole. How terrible is that? Isn't that? I'm like, why would you make your cat wear that? That's just gross. And then I saw, because I was like, is this
Plus
real?
that ring is going to get gross.
So when I saw it, I'm like, oh, this is a joke. And I, of course, had to look it up. So I kept looking, and I ran across something where somebody was like, people are going to think you put a butt plug in your cat. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. Just nothing about that is okay. And somebody is selling these. So everyone, if you have a cat or a dog, please don't bejewel its butt. Leave it alone, okay? That's my stance on that. Real hard line on that there for you. But did you know, actually, in a lot of cultures, a long time ago, any black animal was considered a death omen. So it was mostly like if you saw a wolf or a wild dog that was black or dark in color, it meant that someone around you or close to you was going to die. And I had always heard that was why black cats were also seen as bad luck, because it kind of progressed from just a black dog to any black animal alone by itself was an omen that someone was going to die.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Got any info on that?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember.
It's like,
I did a lot of research. I read through a lot of stuff.
So, we used to be smug about the ignorance of people that lived in ages before us. Like, oh, well, that's when we lived in the stupid period. Like, now it's like, I can't say that anymore.
I mean,
that's when people back then were dumb. Like,
and then we look at who's in office and we scratch our heads.
Yeah.
But you can see why that would be, because, like, you know, you hear the term black sheep, like you're used to seeing animals of a certain color. It's not often that you have an animal that's just like the coat is black in color. In nature, a lot of the time you see like mixed coats and things. So to see an animal like that off by itself, even to see one with just like a plain white coat or something,
right?
would
Like,
also
what did you
be
do
startling.
to piss off the white sheep?
Yeah, it would also be startling just to see them sitting there alone. So you can see why people would have that superstition.
Right. Like they got kicked out of the herd or something, and the black sheep's off on its own.
Or like it's just not something you see all the time, so people would take it as a sign. Like
right.
it's unusual. So.
Right. There's folklore around that saying that black cats have been known to change into human shape as a spy or courier for witches or demons.
That's not true.
Witches don't have black cats?
No, I'm saying people probably say that, but that didn't happen.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
I like how that's not true. I'm positive of this.
Figure every once in a while I should bring out the curmudgeon.
You're very curmudgeon-y.
And you know, it's like whack-a-mole. Some of them I'm like, oh, I can't whack that mole, but
just avoid that one.
Yeah, like
Nicholas Jones can't whack that mole.
People's feelings are behind that one. It's kind of hard to.
What if I have feelings about people turning into black cats?
You'll get over them.
I don't know. Our cats are pretty smart. Sometimes I'm like, are you actually a people? because you shouldn't be able to do that.
I don't know. You said Raven's kind of derpy.
She's like really dumb, but then all of a sudden she'll be like, watch me open this door. And you're just like, how did you figure out that you have to push something up to the door, stand on it, reach the little doorknob and open it?
Wow.
And let the other cat in. And then just sit there all proud of herself. And I'm like, no, not a good thing. And then other times she just slams into a wall or falls off furniture.
That's funny when she does that.
Poor kitty. She's a little special. I love her.
She's cute.
What else you got for us, Josh?
So there's, let me see here. Sometimes in folklore they also say that the witches themselves are the ones that shapeshift into black cats. People, especially in the United States, pilgrims brought over the belief that...
Finally some science.
Yes, right. Pilgrims in Plymouth Rock. Real science. They brought with them a devout faith in the Bible, which said, certain things about the black cats, how they bring the demon, Satan, towards them, to the house, to the churches, wherever they were.
Not the demon Ronald McDonald.
No, not that demon.
Ronald McDonald? The demon.
He's killed more people than Pennywise.
I thought neither of them were demons, just clowns. Oh, same thing? You nodded at me like, yeah, exactly. And I'm just still scratching my head going, clowns equal demon. All right. So our curmudgeon is firm on the belief that all clowns are demons. You just keep like smiling and nodding at me.
That's making it it's fun.
It's good listening.
It's great listening, I'm sure.
So they had this belief that the black cats brought demons with them?
The pilgrims?
Yeah, the pilgrims did. Yeah.
And that your hat would fall off if you didn't have a buckle on it.
I don't think they believed that. I think that was just to make you look extra fancy.
The problem was that their hats were on too tight.
Their hats were on too tight. They had them buckled too hard, like click, click, click.
Can you imagine if that trend kept going until modern day Texas, where they wear the big belt buckles?
Oh my gosh, like a big belt buckle on the hat.
It's like, it matches my waist.
I kind of want to do that. I kind of want to start that trend.
That'd be great.
So next you can find, we've got tote bags. Now we're going to have some big hats with buckles that say Campfire Curmudgeon.
You need a buckle for your Stetson? You like a black hat? No, I said black hat.
Hats again.
That one, this is probably one of the,
best shows we've done?
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
This is one of the things that just makes me really sad that people still believe, black cats are evil. Actually, black cats, I don't know if it's still true, but they used to be one of the, least adoptable.
Right.
Also, black dogs. A lot of people...
Real-world consequences to these.
People think that black dogs look scarier. Mm-hmm. Especially, they've noticed a correlation between if they have a lot of black coloring in their face because it makes their features darker, people are more, afraid of these animals. And that makes me really sad. So... go out and adopt a black cat or a black dog or one that's deemed unadoptable.
Yeah, don't be afraid to,
adopt, don't shop.
Get rid of, hundreds of years old convention.
Well, because I have no problem with superstitions. One of mine that I forgot to mention that I absolutely always do is knock on wood to, keep the bad luck away when you say something well, it's not raining yet, and then you, knock on wood, That and, things like that, don't break a mirror. Don't walk under a ladder. A lot of these have, they're just, there's no real life, detrimental consequences, or they come about because it's it's not safe to walk under a ladder. Whatever. I'll still do it. But consequences for things like this, this kind of belief, really bothers me that some people still have this, fear of these animals, because I think that's really sad.
Right. A lot of adoption places just completely don't have black dogs or black cats available during the month of October for that specific reason.
People are mean to them, do bad things.
Black cats matter. I agree.
All right, Nicholas.
All right, so you were at Pilgrims, and then I derailed you.
They just believed that they would bring Satan or demons in general to your home or place of business if they were to appear there.
Well, come here, Satan Kitty. You're welcome in my home.
What was their solution to that problem?
Make the cats go away.
Okay.
I didn't really have the research
Unfortunately,
on that.
I'm sure a lot of black cats were killed by people because of the fact that they thought, Ma, you're the reason my business failed. It's no, you're just bad at business.
Yeah.
How about that? Maybe you shouldn't open that business on a full moon, huh? Maybe that's the problem.
pull yourself up by your hat buckle straps.
There you go. Yeah, why don't you try that?
What if they landed on Plymouth Rock on a full moon? And that's been the cause for everything.
That's why we're failing as a business.
As a country?
What? No.
Don't say that.
Next topic.
Yeah, I was like, don't put that out there. What else you got for us?
All right. Another superstition, broken mirrors. Brought that up earlier, Nick. Broken mirrors sometimes can bring 7 years bad luck. Some of those superstitions were brought about because humans believed the reflection is where your soul was held. That's from even looking in pools of water. Mm-hmm. Anything that holds your reflection would. And so anything that would damage that reflection is a damage to your soul, is what they believed in. And so a lot of
So
that
what if you
comes
break a
from-
mirror, but you're not in the mirror when you break it? Asking for a friend?
Probably fine.
I'm wondering how many years of bad luck I have left.
Right, like, what if a parakeet breaks a mirror by flying into it? Like, does the parakeet have 7 years bad luck?
Not if he's dead.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean,
yeah, probably. Absolutely.
Okay. I'm saying, let's say the parakeet survives, but has a concussion.
Because I always just thought that if you break a mirror, it's bad luck. But it makes sense that it's because they thought it had to do with the reflection. But that's what I'm wondering. Like, if you drop a mirror and you're carrying it like backwards or something, and it just falls on the ground, and your reflection's never in it, do you avoid the bad luck because you're not in the mirror's reflection at that time, or do you still get the bad luck?
You just got the person behind you, whoever was in the reflection.
Whoever was like in the reflection.
I think, I think about it from this, maybe my weird Martian perspective.
The curmudgeon is actually from outer space.
It would explain some things. Think about, so mirrors, right, as opposed to regular glass. How long have we had mirrors in the way they are now, right?
The way they are now? A long time, actually.
How far back do you think?
You want to guess while I look it up?
Where you could like put a plate, like a lining on glass, and it would be completely reflective the way a current mirror is, as opposed to like a warpy like Egyptian mirror.
Let's see.
I'm guessing at
the
least
silver glass mirrors. They got their start in Germany almost 200 years ago, according to Live Science. In 1835, German chemists developed them.
I was going to say mid-1800s. That was just as a guess.
So there you go.
Yeah.
But obviously, like you said before, that people would use just anything with reflective quality,
surface, or they'd try to approximate a mirror. But mirrors as we know them. So I'm sure that...
I thought it was longer than that.
No,
I'm surprised, actually.
I had a general idea that it was like around the start of the Industrial Revolution, 200 to 200 years ago.
That surprises me.
But think about then, once, like, hey, new from German guy, the mirror, right? Like, you've never seen a mirror like this before. How valuable do you think those things were?
Oh, that's true.
How, like, go to the mirror in our house. Oh, I get to stand in front of the mirror today. Like.
Well, I found that what they used before a lot of the time were polished stone, so something like volcanic glass.
Right.
So obviously, you're not going to see as much detail. You're just going to kind of see a basic idea of features. So if you think about that, and then a mirror being the comparison you have, that's pretty
huge
fantastic.
Improvement, right? And that technology was basically the same since like 1600, going back to like. Alexandria and Egypt and Roman times, right? They'd find a silver, like a reflective surface, and they'd polish it, and they could kind of get a general idea of what they look like.
My mind is just like,
yeah,
because I'm sitting here like, how often? I don't know if I want to admit this, but everybody who knows me knows it. How often do I stare in front of a mirror? Like I'm always like, let's do a check, quick check. I can't imagine not like. Really knowing, like walking around being like, I wonder if there's food on my face. I wonder if I got stuff in my teeth. What do I look like? To me, that's just like so crazy because if you look at a polished stone or polished metal or something, you can't really like completely see everything. You're just like, I think I look all right.
Yeah, I mean, how do you pull out ingrown hair with
face.
tweezers if you're just looking at a piece of brass?
That's just like...
You just know that that's you. Yeah.
I can't even right now.
All right. Well,
life without mirrors.
Dropping some knowledge. So then what happens is basically my kind of ad hoc, like, I guess this is what, hey, don't break a mirror, you'll have bad luck for 7 years, because they're fucking expensive. Like they cost.
You owe me a mirror.
Yeah, so it's like added incentive to not break something that's kind of rare and a commodity and basically like a household item.
And nobody likes cleaning up broken glass.
No.
Nobody.
Yeah. Get cut, broken glass everywhere. Yeah, it's not fun.
Broken glass, broken dreams. What else you got for us, Josh?
Well, the 7 years specifically comes from the Romans. They believed,
Why'd you get so excited,
I don't
Nick?
know, because I just name dropped the Romans like
Okay,
30 seconds
keep
ago.
going.
They believed because it took 7 years to renew life, which I thought was kind of interesting.
That makes sense. I mean, we have a credit score, you know.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Maybe that's why that's 7 years,
there
too.
we go.
That's the origin of it.
I like how all of us in this room are very aware. 7 years, that's all.
You can't sue me for this anymore.
Yeah.
I made it. I did the time.
I sweated all 7 years.
Well, luckily, there's ways you can get out of the bad luck. You can take a piece of the broken mirror and touch it to a tombstone. That'll get rid of the bad
Interesting.
luck.
Touching, is that because it's like, you're like transferring that bad luck to somebody who's dead? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I don't know the rationale behind it. Unfortunately, I didn't get that far. But, touch to a tombstone or...
And you just hear it go...
Can you imagine, like, what would happen if you tried to walk into a cemetery and you've got, like, a piece of, like, a big old broken mirror, like a piece of broken mirror. You're just walking around. People would be like, what are you doing?
Be like, no, that's just Phil.
Like, oh, don't worry. I'm just touching it to a headstone. Just giving your relatives my bad luck. Don't worry about that.
There's that option, or you can break up all the pieces of it.
I did 3 out of 7 years. It's time for parole.
Or you could break up all the pieces so they're no longer reflective. That's something you can also do.
Interesting.
But you'd
I
have to
feel
sit there and just
that's
sit there
like
and
powdering
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'd
turning it
have
into
to
powder.
crush it into powder.
I'll just take
Powder
my 7
mirror.
years, I
Oh,
guess.
powder.
Oh, powder. What else do you have for us?
That's about it for broken mirrors.
That's it? You got
That's
any
it.
other
Walking under a ladder.
walking under a ladder?
It's dangerous, kids. Don't do it.
Don't do it
It's
at
fun.
home.
Take risks. Live your life. Achieve your dreams.
Also, don't climb up and put your feet on like the 2 highest steps.
Do
'cause
that.
That's also dangerous.
Step on the very top
The
and put
sticker
your
told me
foot
so.
against the wall so
Mhm.
that you can reach just a little bit further. Then get the paint in the corner.
Don't add a ladder on top of an existing ladder.
I saw somebody do that, and I was just like, "What are you doing?"
And you're like,
No.
I'm gonna pull over and watch this.
No, I was not in a vehicle at the time.
Usually choose something's good, not ladders. So the superstition has, for walking under a ladder, has a couple different origins, you could say. The origins of the Egyptians comes from them believing that the triangle itself was a very powerful symbol. That's why their pyramids are triangular, things like that. And so that if you were to walk under it, the power of the sacred pyramid would be broken, which I thought pretty interesting.
That makes sense. It's like you're breaking that line that creates the bottom half of it. Interesting.
No matter, even it could be just a small lean to just enough for
Yeah,
a person to
well,
pass.
it's enough. It's like, that's kind of like one of those things where it's like the magic, like when people will create like a circle before they do magic, it's like in Egypt, they were more about the pyramid.
I'm guessing that like
So as soon
it
as
sounds
you
like
walk through
Pythagoras
that-
came up with this idea.
Maybe.
Like, he's just like the right angle dude. He's just like, hey, don't do that.
The European origin, where we get probably more of our idea from it, because I don't know how many Egyptian people are here, but the ladder would symbolize the gallows, because before there was like actual
you
gallows.
had to take the little steps.
You had to take the little steps, but before they actually made like gallows, like a smaller villages and such, they would actually just take a ladder and hang people from the top notch.
That's going to be a tall ladder, or you got some short people, or maybe both.
A combination of both, I'm sure.
Combination of both. All right. What else do you have for us?
That's really all I could find on the ladder one. Let's go ahead and...
I mean, it goes back far enough. I'm sold.
Yep. Spilling salt.
Spilling
salt.
Salt?
Wow.
Here's
I'm
the
not
thing.
excited about that.
What if you don't have a shoulder?
Probably be dead.
Yeah, I was like, what do you mean if you don't have a shoulder?
you just lack a shoulder.
Have you ever seen anybody without a shoulder? I'm sure it's a possibility, but...
I've seen a corpse without a shoulder.
Well, yeah, he was dead.
See, they were dead.
So the salt thing is not going to improve or make things
never
worse.
Know.
Okay, salt over your shoulder.
Yep.
I always throw salt over my shoulder.
This
when I
was
spell.
probably not back in the day when salt was a currency or a valuable good.
Actually, part of it does come from that.
No shit.
Yep. It was used mostly you would offer salt to a guest in your house as a form of hospitality, and spilling that salt would be, demeaning to them. Obviously, it took on a more bad luck connotation as life went on. But the reason why you would throw it over your left shoulder, that's where the devil sits.
That's where he comes to sneak up on you, so you just throw it at him.
Okay.
Because there's always been that thing with salt and demons. They don't like it.
Left shoulder.
They don't like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and demons. There's always that if anybody's a fan of this show, Supernatural. I'm probably wrong. I don't know. My sister loves it. They use salt and iron. That's always been something that's supposed to ward off demons and evil things. I think they do that in the show too.
I'm
gonna have Supernatural fans no, that's not how it works. I'm sorry. I don't remember.
Are you lacking electrolytes? Have some sodium chloride.
Salty salt.
It was also believed that salt would be good luck in the sense that meals served at witches' Sabbaths were thought to be salt-free.
That's not true. Witches like salt. Nobody likes bland food.
I know a witch, and she's pretty salty.
Rude.
But some of it, a widespread explanation of the belief is that it's unlikely to spill salt is that Judas Iscariot spilled the salt at the Last Supper.
What a dick.
What a Judas Iscariot hog swallow. Here's a funny story about that and having to do with superstition and just language and culture. We now, because we live in the age of post atrocities, we he's a Hitler, or he's worse than Hitler. Hitler. And so, I remember reading a discussion or Q&A thing about what did people say was the fucking worst before Hitler, right? Before, just
you're such a Judas.
Right, and that's what they would do.
Yep.
It was either Judas or Pharaoh from and Moses. And it wasn't, even though it wasn't when you think about Alexander the Great and Genghis Khan, the two, empires. It's pronounced Genghis historically.
Genghis.
I wish it was the other way around, listeners, but it's not. It's pronounced Genghis Khan.
I just want to play Jenga now.
Jenga. Yeah.
And eat some.
Ooh, every time I win Jenga, I'm going to scream, I am the Genghis Khan, into people's face.
But these Alexander the Great, these people are well known throughout history, and I think it says it's 1 in 5 males in Asia can trace their DNA back to him.
Yes, I've heard that.
Or something like that, 20%. But these people were murderers and butchers, absolutely just relentless and ruthless. But in Western culture, or in we didn't think of Alexander the Great as oh, he's not so great.
He's not so.
He conquered
great.
the known world. He was not so great.
Alexander the All Right.
And Genghis Khan basically conquered as far as Europe, and the Pope was I'd like to meet you, and he's well, come before me and kneel at me, Pope. And it's
kneel at me.
Yeah, it was I don't think I'm going to do that. But yeah, so just in terms of Judas Iscariot, he was the name that you were just the betrayer of betrayers.
Yeah, because I think that one translated better.
I always thought Judas he got a sore deal, he got a raw deal.
He did,
because the whole thing was deterministic. Oh, you're gonna do this to me, and he's I am, no, I'm not, and it's
he's well, you said I was.
Yeah,
so I mean,
right, and then it's just well, if I don't have any free will in the idea, then why should I feel crappy about it? I betrayed you, but you're the one who made me the way that I am, so I betrayed you, and then, hey, maybe I should kill myself.
This has been Bible Corner.
Bible Corner.
I feel that one was just more translatable because it wasn't regional. It wasn't
right.
It was the Bible was a bit more of something that everybody knew. Mm-hmm. So it was oh, we all know who that is.
Yeah.
Or Genghis who?
Yeah. we share the same common villains within the book, right? Oh, God hardened Pharaoh's heart. Well, if God hardened Pharaoh's heart, then he couldn't really say, oh, well, yeah, go ahead, take your people and get the hell out of here. Again, with the determinism. But I love that. All just because he spilled the salt at the Last Supper. Way to go, Judas.
What a dick.
Yeah.
and now you can't smell salt.
Now my buttered bread won't taste as tasty.
You put salt in your buttered bread?
Some people do.
That's weird.
I don't.
Okay, I was like, I'm super judging you right now. My dad salts his
I was
carrots,
trying to think
and
of
I think
a
that's
food
weird.
in like 33 AD.
What I think is super weird is when people put salt on vegetables or like fruits, like watermelon. Blah! Why would you do that? Waste a perfectly good watermelon.
My grandfather used to do that with tomato, and it would taste delicious. He'd do one slice of tomato with salt on it, the next slice with sugar on it.
That's weird.
And it was
weirder.
No, it was. I remember liking it. Now I just don't go for tomatoes. But he would always. My grandmother had a garden. She always did.
Oh.
And so she would always bring in like ripe, perfect tomatoes and bake with them. And sometimes he'd be like, "Oh, Nick, come here. I'm gonna make you a slice of tomato." He'd put some sugar on it and be like, "This is weird tasting, but not awful. It's good." But it was just like one of the things that I remember about my grandmother.
Maybe we'll have to try that.
Yeah.
We'll Instagram it. Us eating salt on weird things.
Yeah.
Sugary tomatoes.
Sugary tomatoes. What else do you have for us, Josh?
Some believe that, going along with the Judas aspect of it, that salt is a symbol of preserving the sanctity of Jesus' reference to salt of the earth.
Yes.
So
Interesting.
To spill the salt is to lose that sanctity of Jesus.
You made Jesus cry.
Salt is a preservative.
Throw that salt.
And that's
Make it all better.
Like I don't know. I always the salt of the earth quote always cracks me up because it reminds me not of.
I always feel like it's insulting.
It
when
is.
People say like he's a salt of the earth kind of person. Every time somebody says that, I thought it was an insult.
Yeah.
And somebody I know said that about their in-laws, and I was like, "Are you being mean?" She's like, "No."
Common folk. Yeah,
morons. I had to like ask her about it because I was
Yeah.
like, "So were you trying to like be mean about them?" She's like, "No, they're sweet." Like I was like, "It kind of sounds like you're talking down about them," because I didn't understand that there was another meaning to that. I just always thought it was used as like an insult.
You probably saw Blazing Saddles before you read the Bible.
No.
No.
Maybe.
The real common folk. Simple people, farmers,
Simple people.
salt of the earth.
That's always how I thought about
morons. I'm quoting Blazing Saddles. I'm not saying that Christians are.
We know you quote things.
Yeah, I do.
Nick likes movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last episode is a movie podcast.
Was it?
Was it?
No, it wasn't. No.
Nick does a movie podcast.
Yes. The John Carpenter cast. We're recording
Don't
tomorrow.
you plug that. Get out of here. I'm just kidding.
We will be
Just
relentlessly
kidding.
making fun of the movie Vampires, starring recently retired actor and antiquing enthusiast and all-around bigot asshole James Woods.
There you go. Hey, vampires. Nice for in the season of October.
It is nice for in the season.
Halloweenies. I love Halloween.
Salt. Anything else about salt?
It's delicious. That's about it.
What is? Do you have a cardiologist?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Salt's good for you if you need more sodium.
It can be, yes.
I have lots of sodium in my blood. But it's fine. What other superstitions you have for us?
We got a fun one. Stepping on a crack.
Stepping on a crack.
I thought we did this.
Break your mother's back.
No, you just said that was one you believed in.
Oh, yeah.
Why do you believe in it, Nick? Or what does it mean to you?
Because it causes a verbal tick if I don't believe in it. Like I step on a crack, I'm like, in the back of my.
Then you have to go back and do everything all over again.
In the back of my head, there's like I can imagine a kid in a room just sitting and he's writing at a desk, and he's having. Like he's fine, but I step on a crack and all of a sudden like his pencil snaps, and he's just like this is not cool. Like I need you to keep your shit together, sir.
Is that how your brain works?
Yeah, that's it's just like you have to do the OCD thing now. Go make it up. Go get me a new pencil. Go back and retrace your steps.
Oh no!
Or don't step on the next 10.
Don't step on the next 10.
Like,
1, 2,
no. He bargains
1,
with me.
2.
And I feel maybe that's why I feel guilty all the time. Other than I've been blaming Catholicism, but it's actually my OCD.
The cracks. All those cracks I stepped on, all those lives I've ruined.
Yeah.
I always imagine when I was especially really, really young, just an image of my mom and her back breaking when I stepped on a crack. Just like her, just like cleaning the kitchen or doing something, and her back just going, oh.
Or just like Hulk Hogan holding your mom, just preparing to just like break her back over his knee.
From the top rope.
Yeah.
The reason I didn't like to step on cracks when I was a kid was Indiana Jones.
Oh, the
Indiana Jones ride in Disneyland. They were always like, don't step in the one with, there was like a diamond shape or something, and you weren't supposed to step on those ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always like, oh, you can't step on the cracks. Like, I equated it with the same thing. You
I
have
thought
to
it-
stay in the squares, and if you step, like, outside of the square, you were going to set off some terrible reaction.
I thought you were talking about one of the booby traps, from...
That's what it's based off of.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
That from Last Crusade,
Mhm.
where he's trying to spell the name of God. And he's like, in this Bible, the God is spelled with an I. And he's like J, and he falls right through. Like, it's just like, Junior,
Stay in the squares.
Junior. All right, sorry. Enough of my Sean Connery lady slapping antics.
Oh, jeepers.
He beat women. Sorry, it happened.
He did.
Yeah.
What a dick.
Yeah.
What else you got for us?
Well, that's really the main belief as it is now.
Break your mom's back?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Did you find anything else besides that?
Oh, yes, absolutely. That's just what it is now. But a lot of the European and Africans coming into America, that folk belief system shows that sometimes the cracks in the earth show walls or walls between. Let me restart that.
I was
bad.
like, wait, hold up. In Africa,
Those
and
are
Europe,
walls
those
now.
are walls where the cracks used to be.
Floors are walls that we kind of magically perpendiculated.
Hey,
Like,
you never know. How
Sorry.
do we know up is up and down is down?
It's just what they want you to think, man.
Your eyes just rolled so
It's a
far in the back
hologram.
of your head.
I know.
All right, let me restart that one. So a lot of Europeans and Africans coming into America brought the belief system that the cracks in the earth would represent fissures and metaphysical boundaries between us and potentially nefarious other worlds.
So, like, you could step on it and slide between the two worlds? Was that their kind of thinking?
Or you could lose your aura in the subterranean whatever.
You're making that up.
No, I'm just like your spirit, and like it'd be a vulnerability.
Yeah, correct. It could
Interesting.
It could
Don't
it
you
could get
celebrate.
sucked in. You can make that.
Say you could get sucked in.
You can make that crack bigger in the metaphysical
and, like,
world.
let the bad guys in.
Exactly.
Ooh. Don't step on a crack, you let the bad guys in. I like that one better than break your mom's back.
I've heard of spiritual warrior, but I haven't heard of like spiritual search and rescue. Like, hey, Jamie,
there.
Jamie, go get help! I'm stuck in a crevasse.
You're an ass. A crevasse.
What, you're standing right there? No, I mean me spirit. It's in a crevasse.
There's some beliefs as well.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you laugh. Crazy faces.
That stepping on cracks in the earth may be believed to invoke sympathetic magic, which breaks the earthenware of one's family.
What's sympathetic magic? Can we get a refresher on that?
Yeah, I don't have any information on sympathetic magic.
I was talking to the magician.
I'm not a magician, weirdo. Sympathetic magic?
Mm-hmm.
I know I've heard of it. That's like... From what I know of it, is magic that happens without you necessarily intending it. It's like unintentional magic.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I always thought that sympathetic magic was, but I'm not sure if that's right used in this context.
Okay. Like you might ask
Like-
for something about you, and it turns out being like about somebody that you know, or
It's like sympathetic magic is like when you accidentally give somebody the evil eye by being jealous. Like if you're jealous of somebody and you like look at them while you're being jealous, you can cast an evil eye on them. Or like if you say something like, gee, I wish I had a new car, and then you get in a car accident and then you have to buy a new car. Nicholas.
Yeah, that happened a year ago.
That's
this
what
month.
I always knew of sympathetic magic to be like, where you're just not like, I'm going to cast a spell and do this, where it's just like you do something and it has unintended consequences.
Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely.
Are you looking this up to see if I'm right?
No, I was on Twitter.
Rude!
I am now.
Now that you've been chastised.
Now that we've already talked about it.
Well, I want to see what it actually is, because that's just, I could be wrong.
To the wiki.
To the wiki.
Is known as imitative magic, a type of magic based on imitation or correspondence.
That makes sense. Stepping on a crack in the earth, break families' earthenware.
Right.
Kind of makes sense. There's also some superstitions about it being...
So, like, imitation magic would be like, say, voodoo dolls. It basically effigies, fetishes, or puppets to infect the environment of people or occasionally people themselves.
See? I was way off.
Correspondence is based off the idea that you can influence something based off its relationship to another thing. So, like, herbs with yellow sap can cure jaundice.
Yeah.
Or walnuts could strengthen the brain because walnuts
look
like brains.
Sorry, kicked the table.
Okay, so basically it's just like, that looks like that. That means it's that. Like,
hey, don't knock it.
Okay, I won't.
That was so, like, I feel personally attacked. You said that with so much anger. Like, all right, fine, I won't. I'm like, okay. Don't then.
Yeah, just
fine. Don't. Okay. How about that?
There's also some other superstitions about it.
Thank you.
Yes. That as a form of retaliation, witches would put a curse on somebody, and therefore, if they were to step on a crack, could use that crack as a way to jump out and steal their soul.
Ooh, like a burrowed spider.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Waiting and hiding, just waiting for you to screw up.
On the other part of that, a lot of different Christians would also believe that stepping on a crack would also cause the devil's back to break, which I thought was kind of an interesting one.
So then wouldn't you want to step on the crack?
Yeah, which I thought was pretty weird and conflicting with other superstitions.
See, I can just like see somebody like, yeah, take that, and someone's like, his poor mother, as he's stomping on the cracks.
It'd certainly be a way to be like, I'm not a witch, look at this, and you're just like dancing down the street,
stepping on the cracks,
hitting every like tap dancing like.
So what you're saying
I'm not a witch,
is
not a witch,
if you
not
were
a witch.
accused of being a witch in olden times, your brain would pop because you'd be like, watch me step on the crack. Now I have to go start over again. Look at me step on the crack, and you just get stuck in like a loop forever.
I'd probably still be burned. It'd be like not convincing.
Something's wrong with this one. Send him back.
Like he jumped on every crack, but then he opened his front door and closed it 5 times. And locked it, and then unlocked it, and then opened the door, and then closed it again, and then locked it, and then unlocked it. And then he put his keys in his pocket. Then he took him out again. Then he put it back in his pocket.
What are keys? What is this magic contraption? Definitely a witch. Burn him.
Yeah.
All right.
Call a locksmith. He knows about future occupations. They didn't have locks in the Middle Ages. What are you kidding?
Yes, they did.
That's my point.
Okay.
All right.
I meant car keys. They didn't have cars. Jeepers.
I said door. You added car.
Because all of the keys are stored together. I don't know. Like, on my key ring, I don't have, like, here's my house keys, here's my other key ring for cars, here's my
He's
key
got
ring.
keyless entry on his wooden wagon.
Like,
boop, boop.
It's also been said that spirits, ghosts, or fairies can also enter homes through cracks in the ground. Some charms may be employed.
What kinds of charms?
It doesn't say.
It doesn't say.
I didn't get that part.
They have to fill in the cracks, I guess.
Yeah, just fill in the cracks. But they can come in through something as simple even as, with that superstition comes along with, they can get through door cracks, keyholes, window chinks, and even furnishings such as a headboard.
Bad luck charms?
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. Is that the only info you found on cracks?
Yeah.
So I always thought that one was such a weird, like, step on a crack, break your mother's back. I never got where that one came from. I think it makes more sense that people believed that it was like a crack between worlds or something. That to me makes so much more sense than like, you're going to break your mom's back. Yeah, why?
Yeah, you can do like 3 whole seasons of Doctor Who with just a crack in the wall.
There you go.
Yeah.
What else you got for us?
All right, so this one I've never heard of before, not once. When you pass a cemetery, you have to hold your breath.
I've heard that. You're supposed to hold your breath so that the spirits don't jump in you or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
There you go.
Multiple beliefs with that one, that either A, depending on where you come from, that either A, the spirit would leave your body because it would want to go.
It wants to join all of the others. It wants to join
the other spirits, or that you would be possessed by a spirit, which I thought that one was pretty interesting as well.
That is interesting. I wonder if I know it's not a bad luck thing, but it's considered good luck to hold your breath when you go through a tunnel. So I don't know if that has any correlation.
That's new to me.
Yeah, I taught you that one.
Yeah.
You gave me a weird look. We went through a tunnel when we were on our way to LA Podfest.
We went through the downtown Phoenix tunnel at 7th Street. And
I stared at him while I held my breath, and he was just driving, trying to ignore me, being weird. And afterwards, I was like, "There's a reason I did that." Oh, really?
If you're ever riding with someone as a road trip, and they just start looking at you and not breathing, and I'm like,
but still smiling, I'm fine.
I'll talk to you about this in a minute.
I was holding up my finger, just a minute. You were like, okay, good luck, huh?
You're like, I made it. And I'm like, okay.
No, I said, you're welcome.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I was like, I just gave us some good luck. And we made it there and we made it back, so there must be something to that, guys.
There you go.
I didn't hold my breath, and maybe that's why the fire in California started.
Nick's fault.
Oh, no.
Boo.
Not the one that killed people, just the one that delayed people.
Oh, okay. And destroyed their homes.
Yeah, destroyed a couple homes.
Okay. Let's not be that fire.
So this one has an origin that's more simple, but it's also speculative.
What does?
The one about holding your breath past a cemetery.
Okay.
It's also related
I've heard about whistling past the graveyard. Is that kind of the same
also
thing?
heard that one as well.
Maybe it's correlated, so you're not breathing in. I don't know.
Don't get in me, don't get in me. You're whistling, so you're exhaling.
It's like a word
Yeah,
against
you're not breathing in. It's the same, probably same premise, same mechanism.
Yeah, I'm sure. As well as the kind of like how we cover our mouths when we yawn. That's also to keep the spirit in or other evil spirits out.
Oh, I just do it because
I'm just
feel rude.
self-conscious. Yeah. Enjoy my hard palate.
Well, I just feel sometimes I look weird when I yawn, so I'm staring at you with my mouth open, and it's sending some weird signals. So I'm just I'll just put a hand there.
Mm-hmm. And that is also speculated to come from also.
How many times has Nick yawned now? Oh, I wonder if we're making all of our listeners yawn. If you're yawning right now, you have to comment on the Facebook or on our Instagram page and let us know.
Hashtag yawn, not boring.
Send in a yawn selfie.
Yeah, not a bored yawn. Yeah, send us your yawn selfies. And don't forget about our contest. We still have our contest going on for our tote bag. So far, we've got one entry. So come on, guys. Let's have some competition.
Yeah, we're not giving the tote bag to your mom.
She's not the entry.
Oh,
she didn't even do it. That's even worse.
I haven't done it yet either, so I'm sorry.
Rude.
What?
The contest.
You're not allowed.
Oh,
you can't win this. You can,
yeah,
so sad.
You can use mine.
It's for our listeners.
Okay.
All three of them.
He's a listener. He's one of the three.
Okay. Friends and family do not apply. Well, actually, no. We need somebody who's...
We need somebody to win it. Just come on, guys. Give us what you got. If you don't remember the contest, listen to our last episode or pop on our Facebook and check out our post about it.
It was rate us on iTunes.
Like, rate, subscribe, do a whole bunch of stuff.
Like us on
Let
Facebook.
us know you did it, and you get an entry.
Yep. You can email us at is it just Campfire Curmudgeon or
CampfireCurmudgeon@gmail.com.
I think you guys would have this down by now.
I got it.
I got our Twitter down. That's what I'm responsible for.
I don't have our Twitter down.
It's at CF Curmudge.
That's where you can twat at us.
CF Curmudge.
Yep.
All right. So along with that, about the yawning, covering our mouths, that also comes from...
He yawned again!
I said it just to get
and
you.
Neither of us are yawning. What does that say about us?
Fucking
Anyways.
Psychopaths.
It comes from very simple answer. People cover their mouths around funerals or dead family members who potentially died of things like the plague. So that transformed into us not breathing near cemeteries.
Give plague.
Oh, well, I should cover my mouth then. That makes sense. That's pretty cool.
That's it, except Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
Ooh,
where did this come
Happy
from?
Friday the 13th, guys.
Happy Friday the 13th of October.
Of October.
This year, Halloween is on Friday the 13th.
He's bullshit.
First time in 666 years.
I know memes.
One theory, here we're back to Judas, is that it came from early Christianity where Jesus Christ was crucified on a Friday and Judas was the 13th guest at the Last Supper.
The last apostle.
Yep.
And it was a Good Friday, which not all that good. No. It kind of was a bad day.
13 is my lucky number.
Like even by what was it, 4 p.m. when he died on the cross, and then the sky went black, and then the tapestry of the temple ripped in half, and you're like, huh, this guy might have been God. I might have been wrong. Whoops.
Big oopsie. There's another one that dates back to the association with the Knights Templar. When they were arrested on 1307, it was said to be on a Friday.
Interesting.
Illuminati.
Illuminati is Illuminati is Illuminati. We just watched that. It was terrible. Don't do it.
What?
It's like a video on YouTube. Illuminati is Illuminati.
Okay.
KFC
if you want to melt your brain, go for it.
I'll do it in other ways.
All right. What you got there?
We are going to wrap it up then, I guess. All right. Thank you so much, Josh, for joining us.
You're very welcome.
Really appreciate the info on today, and you can listen to this once a year, every year.
It still applies. If we missed any superstitions, especially if there's ones that maybe are from different cultures that we may not be aware of, please let us know. We'd love to hear about superstitions that we didn't mention, and we can mention those on another episode.
Yeah, I play a know-it-all, but a lot of the time I'm like,
He's a know-a-little.
I'm going off of my memory, which is a mile wide and an inch deep. So I know it means I know a lot about very little.
Or a little about a lot.
So correct me. I'd love to be able to read your correction online.
So we already said where they can email us.
Yeah,
but they can also
campfirecurmudgeon@gmail.com.
They can also go to campfirecurmudgeon.com, and that's where they can send us messages, listen to stuff. They can also find us on Facebook, and we have our Instagram linked there as well. That's Campfire Curmudgeon for both of those. If you go on our Instagram and our Facebook, that's where you'll see a lot of pictures. We posted a lot of pictures of what we did in LA at LA Podfest. We've got more coming, so you might want to check those out. We stayed at a real neat hotel, and we got to talk with some really cool people, so you'll hear that coming up in some future episodes.
Yeah, and then also if you feel like you're leaving us a voicemail, if you want to go on a rant about the show, or me, or Heidi, or Josh, you can rant at us. The phone number is on our main page of our website.
It's also on our Facebook.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. Keep the campfire burning.